You're 2 weeks into the university and we've had one private session. How's it going so far? What's life like? What's happened in this short 2 weeks since, where were you before you called me and where are you now? Give it, just tell us all about
So the biggest change was actually finding the missing piece of the puzzle. A lot of people who go through a lot of programs, or a lot of people who are exposed to this in this world of self-help, blah blah blah, they maybe have a little bit of pieces, or they have pieces of puzzle. But I think you've put it all together in a context where once it clicked, there was an explosion of aha, and now you view a lot of your I think I'm losing one track of my mind. I don't know, being on the video now, that I don't know how it's when focus on you, it's just kind of weird, right? We had the normal conversation before we started, and now it's maybe I'll have to just chew through it and then I'll let it go.
Yeah, well, think of what you've learned in the first 2 weeks of how to get through exactly where you are right now. What have you learned in the first couple of weeks that could help you in this moment?
So the biggest lesson was actually identifying feelings and listening to your intuition. It was usually we all are taught to rationalize and use your mind and force things and overthink things, and usually that doesn't work. At least it didn't work for me. And a lot of gurus, a lot of self-help guys, a lot of coaches, a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists, they all sing this one tune. You have to there's a lot of thinking instead of actually letting it go. Like Aikido, Aikido is the martial arts where you redirect. Instead of forcing something, you don't fight it with brutal force. You just redirect the energy, and you get the desired result. And so here, I think the biggest thing was for me to gauge in a very short period of time, to gauge my feelings and use them as guide in my daily life. And it completely changed. It sounds simple. It sounds very easy, but it had completely changed my life from doing stuff that I shouldn't. I knew I shouldn't do certain things, to actually just not wanting to do anymore. That's the biggest.
So the feeling shifted so much that the things that you were doing, the feelings you were having, that drove you to do destructive things that were keeping you from the life you want, you've been able to, in 2 weeks, learn the process to shift it.
Right. And sometimes this, even if you catch, the biggest thing also is catching yourself in the act, so to speak. You can, even again, after the first week, I was able to connect different dots. Basically, I'm doing this over here, I'm doing that over there, which I shouldn't be doing. And you have the tools to stop yourself mid-act, or not even get to doing anything bad. And you self-correct your behavior easily and effortlessly. The biggest thing is it's effortless. Like it's effortless. One of the biggest realization was how effortlessly easy it is not to be in pain using your system. So your coaching, your methodology, and that was huge for me. It's all the things that opened up in my life, where it just, again, effortless, and you just have positive things happen in your life. And what the biggest thing I've learned in those 2 weeks is basically your intuition, or our intuitions, are so beaten down and stumped into the ground that we don't even use it most of the time. We maybe some occurrence here and there, but here I was, in these 2 weeks, I learned to be guided by it, to the point where if something is not feeling right, you just don't do it, and you avoid all the headache, all the problems. And when you do something right, when you feel that this is the right thing for you, holy crap, the things that come into your life. People popped into my life offering the business opportunities, private, my relation with my girlfriend just blossomed. And and the unbelievable part is I'm supposedly the same person, but where I was 2 weeks ago and where I am now is maybe years apart.
Really?
So that's why, I mean, I'm an all myself. I never thought that it's possible to do that much in this short period of time, and not putting a lot of it's not that you're not putting effort. You do the work, but it's not work. It's more of a, you just do normal things, normal things to that are, well, they're normal now. Just you do effortless normal things throughout your day, and good things happen in your life. And I think I'm very thankful for that. Very thankful for that. So that's, I don't know
How,
what I can say.
what you said you've seen big changes work and relationship wise. Can you give me some examples of what you 2 weeks ago, the way you handled work, and now how you handle work, and how you handled your relationship previous to being in the university and having the session, and now, like before and after?
Well, my biggest thing, so with with the relationship, it was basically the self-confidence was completely shot in a way where I would use alcohol as a crutch in order for me to have conversations with people that are because it's obviously I had the self-esteem problems, where now I can actually talk to somebody and be open about it and not have a care in the world that, oh my God, what are they thinking about me, or some nonsense in your head that you most people usually still have as a process. So I guess it's akin to public speaking or something, where a lot of people are scared to death of public speaking, for the same reason as I was scared to even not publicly speak. But you still had a little bit of anxiety when you are in a new setting or in some new environment. And so you would use alcohol to smooth things out, this and that. And this is completely gone, to the point where actually when we went on I had a non-alcoholic beer the other day during steak dinner. And automatically my old self ordered, oh, let me get one more. I had one sip of the second non-alcoholic beer, and I just left it. I didn't even want to drink it anymore. And where usually I would have 10, whatever, 5, 10, whatever amount of drinks. And this was not even non-alcoholic. I just wanted to taste, see how it feels. And I told my girlfriend at the time, she's still my girlfriend. I'm talking about during the evening, that this was the first time in my life where I left the beer on the table. I literally don't remember a single time where I wouldn't chug it and walk away, and let alone mid-course, just let it stand there like a piece of furniture for the remainder of the night. So we got dessert, right? So for me, this was big, and just this little example. So, and talking to people is completely different, because now you can be more authentic, and you don't have those hang-ups that the little voice in your head, which starts over analyzing or criticizing or whatever it is in your head. You just become yourself. And
So the feeling shift is so different. The feelings as you're having discussions with people.
right.
Tell me that. The feeling, like get into that, what it felt like to have discussions with people before alcohol or needing alcohol, like, oh my God, I need enough alcohol so I can have this discussion, versus now you're putting the beer down and having the discussion. What are the differences in those feelings now?
I think the biggest difference was that I thought that I needed alcohol to bring out some kind of something in me, and in reality, it's the farthest thing from the truth, because now it's just me having conversation with people without. It's very hard to explain it to people maybe who. It's like two different people having conversation. It used to be where a person. I'm referring to that guy who was drinking. A person now, it's so far away from me, and that's the difference. It feels like it feels like you feel like I feel like a completely different person. So I even refer to myself as that person, that well, and I'm doing it automatically. I'm not thinking about it. Just that's how my brain processes that vision in my head. And so it just, you just, you simply, you don't, it's effortless. I don't have any other word but effortless. It just flows. And even if you get a little bit of your past kind of your neural patterns from the past kind of like try to get a hold of you or something, give you a little bit of message, oh maybe you should have this or that, or, and you completely know that these are um, I don't even know if it's fake or just you realize not to be, because you listen to your intuition. If something is, again, if something is in your head is telling you, oh, I'm not something self-critical or negative, or it just you completely, okay, you take that message, but it just slides away, and you just continue on your path to doing things that you now want to be doing, because they make you feel amazing. You're literally like a drug addict to amazing feelings. So it's not, I'm not walking around the whole day with the biggest smile on my face, even though I do. But I'm just genuinely surprised that if it was maybe 5% a day of smile and that's it, and then 90% it was stress or just average feeling. Now it's more of a 70% smile. You still have routine of work, but it's still it comes in completely different. It's no longer a chore or something you have to force yourself in doing. So the biggest thing is, actually, I started going back to the gym. Completely, it was raining, and so I was walking, then I jogged back home, and it was raining. And oh no, I'm sorry. We were supposed to play tennis, and it rained out. And so it was a Saturday, and I wanted to, and we had to leave for a road trip in a couple hours. So I wanted to get some kind of workout in, because I knew I'm gonna be eating more and enjoying myself more, right? So I wanted to put in a workout. And I stopped by, and it rained out, so I couldn't play tennis, which I usually do. So I figured, what can I do? And in my building, we have gym, but because of COVID, we have to sign up 48 hours in advance. But somebody didn't show up, and I just randomly decided to ask the concierge if somebody didn't show up, maybe I can take their spot. And then, yeah, we have an open spot, one slot. And so these positive things, like little things like this, they just happen in your life. Same thing in business. A few people approach me because the way I carry myself differently, people start appearing in your life, offering you not deals, but with what I do, kind of partnership, cooperation. Just you get exposed, not exposed. You get invited into things, and which is, again, a very positive sign. And now when you see all these thousands and thousands, and I literally mean thousands of daily, not daily, but over time, these hundreds and hundreds of positive feedbacks you see, and you just, the feeling you get from that is so powerful that you have to be there's nothing on this earth would make me want to go back, because it's just night and day difference between the way you feel when you're empowered and the way that you feel when you have to force things or think things, overthink things. I mean, and just the grind, so to speak. And I don't have to grind anymore. Even work, I just do my work, and I just kind of do it, and I enjoy doing it. I don't have to. Oh my God, this is Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning, and no, I enjoy doing it, and I'm on my own schedule, and I arrange things better. I organize things better. You schedule things in a much better way. And again, like I said, little things start opening up, and it's a feeding loop. So the more positive things are happening, the farther away you get from who you were just 2 weeks ago. And the last thing you want in your life at this point is to go back where you were. Because the difference is in your feeling, the way you feel is just just opposite, that you just want more and more. You're just curious. You're also very curious where this thing is going to lead to, because you see all these beautiful things happening in your life. You just want more of them. Call me greedy, but hey, you know, it's a good thing. So you want more and more positive feelings. It's again, I guess a lot of people who do sports religiously, I mean, working out religiously, etc. They feel like they don't feel right if they don't work out, for example, for a couple of days. And I feel the same way, but doing positive stuff for myself in my life. And it's just a self-perpetuating loop of feeling great. And when you feel great, your state management is very important, because when you're in a proper state, you're happy, you're content with life, you're positive, you're not stressed to the point where everything is going wrong. You notice it's like negativity bounces off of you. I'm not saying, I'm sure there bad stuff still happens, but it's mostly good stuff. And well, in those 2 weeks, I can't really say that I had bad moments. I had some realizations, I had some aha moments, but the more you move towards the light, the more light you want. So the less darker it gets, and it's so that's it. You just move to the light. Is you just go towards the light, not in a light, not in a that type of situation.
Sure, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just using a metaphor.
yeah.
Dater, do you have any questions?
Yeah, first I can actually relate to a lot what you're saying, because I've had friends in the past, and I've been in this space in the past myself, where the comment has been liquid courage.
Yeah,
the way you can talk to a lady, it's the way you can relax after a Tuesday night at 5 p.m. And eventually I found myself with colleagues, coworkers, and friends that would really look forward to that 5 p.m. drink, that whiskey, or whatever, even the cigarette with the drink. There's something about that combo too. And at first it didn't bother me, but then I started just seeing how working with them, there was this attitude of, oh, I can't wait for the day to be over so I can finally have that. And then it became consistent. And I was like, man, like, are you really enjoying your day? Are you really enjoying your life? And I know exactly what you mean by then transitioning to this place of, oh, now I can find the little things that make me happy, and I don't need all these other things.
Right.
All these external sources. So that part really resonated with me, because I've seen it in many people, and I've seen it in myself as well. And yeah, all the way down to the working out and all that stuff.
I think one of the biggest things that Kenny allowed me to have is I never understood what it's like to wake up and look forward towards the day. Yeah, meaning it's not that my life was so dark and so terrible. I mean, over and over again, every day now I wake up and I just enjoy the day. And that's something new, because usually I would be the slave to, if I would have a bad day at work, it would be a bad day. If it would be a good day at work, it would be an okay day. And here, every day I wake up, it's effortless again. I wake up, I enjoy the day, I savor the day, and I'm just happy. And you don't have to do the external nonsense like going for drinks and doing something just to artificially pump yourself up. You don't, you're just naturally pumped up. And I was always envious of people who were saying, I wake up and I look forward towards them. Like, who are these aliens, you know? I don't understand that, but now I do. And it feels so amazing that that feeling of feeling amazing in itself will prevent you, makes you not want to do anything that you used to do, which was detrimental to your life. That's it. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not making myself not drink or not do it. You don't have the feeling anymore. And when you don't have the feeling, it's imagine you have a feeling of wanting to eat an ice cream, and you have an ice cream in front of you. You just eat it. It's a fantastic feeling, and you eat the ice cream, whatever. So life becomes like eating the ice cream instead of forcing yourself on saying no, or it's there's no more forcing anything. It just naturally, you become congruent within yourself to naturally enjoy yourself and not require anything, any force. And that's the biggest, I'm sorry to say, mind fuck.
That was what I discovered. I love what you just said. All the addictions, sex, booze, tobacco, I chased every addiction and trying to play pro sports to get a sense that I had value or worth. Always chasing something so I could wake up every day feeling like, you know, and you have a great game or whatever it is, but the next day that it's not there.
Right.
You accomplish something in business, close a big deal, you know, pick up the best looking girl in the bar and get her phone number. Doesn't matter. The next day, it's like, how am I going to get through this day?
Right.
And when I discovered the process and started living it and then now teaching it, that's the feeling. You're exactly right. It's the sense you just like.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't really explain it. It's not like you did anything. That's what's so great about it. You don't do anything. But when you learn the process and you learn that everything's feeling based, and I can't get into all the process, but I'll just say it that way. When you learn the process, you just are kind of, it's like, you're just always there. And yes, so-called bad things happen or stressful things happen, but you just kind of, it doesn't plummet you. Like you're not a prisoner to the outside world anymore.
Exactly. You're not aimlessly floating in a river, bouncing from bank to bank.
Yeah, Tony Robbins calls it, and I agree with him. He says most people, the way they live their life is like an inner tube bouncing down a river, just bouncing off the rocks. They don't pick their career. They don't pick they just boom. Oh, I guess I'm dating you. Boom. Right. I guess this is my career. They have no autonomy, no self-direction. It's just, this is my life ended up here. And that ends when you learn the process I teach. You know exactly where you're going, exactly why it's happening. Everything just makes sense. There's no just random bouncing anymore.
Right. And the beautiful part about it is you get that knowledge from within.
Yes.
You know exactly the answer to any situation. It's right there. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to run a Excel spreadsheet or call your psychic. I don't know, whatever you do. But it's just the feeling is there, and you know exactly the answer to whatever you're facing, whether good or bad. The answer is just there. It just pops into your head. You know what to do, and that's the end of it. That's why it doesn't drag you down to the bottom of the ocean, because you end up in some kind of perpetuating cycle of fear and thoughts. And no, you know the answer. It's because you become you, and you just congruency and authenticity kind of just drives you to within yourself to know all these answers, and you just then you go and execute them, and that's it. And that's why it's effortless, because you just I don't know how to describe that feeling. You just you know,
Get your
It's there.
feelings sheet out.
Exactly. Touche. All right.
I just had to, sorry.
I know. I know. So that's it.
What was
And
your fear about working with me? What, like when,
okay,
well, how did you find me and how did you end up deciding
right.
to, book a call with me and, tell me about
So
that process.
I never had I never had a professional not consult, I'm sorry. I've never had an experience before with a professional coach or a psychiatrist, or I've done a lot of reading materials, a lot of videos, I've done some seminars. My uncle is a psychiatrist, and I know exactly, I know what he does and how he does things. I have friends who are psychiatrists, but I've never actually booked a session with anybody to deal with my own issues, because obviously you have that fear of being vulnerable. And at a certain point, you're like, okay, I'm 37 years old now. What the fuck am I going to be vulnerable? What do I have to be afraid of? I'm already in pain, so might as well. You're already in pain, so what are you hiding there? You're already being beaten down by life like a ragged rented mule. So maybe okay, give up your bullshit and just not seek, but talk to somebody who has some kind of answers, because obviously, even though we all think we all have the answers, sometimes we all have blind spots, and having somebody who is a trained professional who knows what he's doing helps you to see things that you're unable to see, because we'll, like I said,
What made you think I
think
because you said it, you read, you've done seminars.
I was just, honestly, I was just browsing on Instagram, and your ad came up. I never click on ads. I run ad blocks everywhere on all my software, all my computers. I never bought anything from an ad, from a computer ad at least. And this was the first ad that I clicked. And I think the first couple of the hook that got me was you asked I don't remember the specific words you were saying, but you had an S. Do you want to know why? And it is because you have to have the feeling to do certain things, not just force it. Because we all know we all know we need to go to the gym and eat less to lose weight. Everybody knows that. But for some reason, a lot of people are not doing it, and we all not do a lot of things that we know we should be doing. And you, in that short video, actually explain why this is the case. And most self-help coaching, psychologists, whatever, all of the medical profession in the headspace does not they didn't provide me those answers. Because why am I doing all this self-destructive things? Why? And again, it all happened so quickly. I didn't lay on a couch for 5 years with Sigmund Freud for him to talk about whatever, right? It was just in a brief. After 1 week, I had profound change in my life. After 1 week, which again sounds impossible, but it's true. I wouldn't believe myself if that's the funny part. If somebody would have told me what I'm saying right now, I wouldn't have believed them. But it is true, because I just light up I wake up. I don't have alarms anymore. I just wake up. I don't dread about getting out of bed. I just get up and I'm on. I feel fantastic, and you just go about your day, and it's easy. And that's all thanks to the fact that you understand why you do things, because it comes from within you, from feeling like you want to do these things. And you teach how to start feeling, not how to start feeling, but how to develop, reignite that part of yourself, which makes you be driven towards things that you in your head actually want to accomplish as well. But without force. That's the biggest difference. We can all go to the gym and force ourselves to pump that iron and grind, and then die of a heart attack at 55 or 45, or just be miserable about it. I don't have any misery. I just went to the gym. I enjoyed it, and again, the feeling came from within. How many people feel like going to the gym every day? Probably not even the bodybuilder, but bodybuilders probably don't feel that way all the time. And here I am, just feeling like doing all these things. And if I don't feel like maybe doing it, I don't know. I didn't have that part yet, but you just want to better yourself because you feel better. You do better with everything. You want to look better. You want to take care of yourself better. You want to be better with people, with your social circles, with your significant others, with whatever aspect of life you touch, you want to do better. And that's because it's within you. It's just that feeling within you. Again, feeling. Probably sounds strange to a lot of people, but we've been completely 180 in our upbringing, in our the way the environment teaches us to be forceful with things. When you force something, it usually never works with anything. We all know that. You force a relationship, it doesn't work. You force yourself to do certain things, you're just becoming like a slave to something. I don't think there are any happy slaves walking around on this earth, right? So why be a slave when you can just do all these things, but because you want to do them, not because you have to do them. That's the biggest thing. You can do things because you start feeling like doing them instead of making yourself do them. So that's priceless to me.
The standard model is to try and get you to think different, which creates that battle of will. Right. I have to outthink the thoughts that are negative, which is a never-ending circle, and it's a constant internal self-hatred battle. And there's really no resolution because it just cycles upon itself. But when you can shift the way you feel, those thoughts never arrive because those thoughts are generated by a feeling anyway. Because people always describe their thoughts as a feeling. They go, yeah, I just don't feel. Yeah, I keep thinking, and as they describe I keep thinking what a pain it'll be. They're describing the emotions they're feeling. Exactly. And yet they're trying to use thought to change it. It's like, wait a minute, did you hear the words you just listed? Every single one is a feeling. Why are you trying to change your thoughts?
Right, exactly.
You just describe it, the pain. Well, let's address the pain, the feeling. Well, if I can clear that painful feeling, then I don't have a painful thought.
Exactly. And you don't do the painful stuff or whatever because you just simply don't have that. It's not within you anymore. It's like
feeling's gone.
Feeling is gone. So why even bother doing it? Or if you are doing something bad or something detrimental, because it's just not within you. And it's so shocking. It was so shocking to me in a surprising way that oh my God, first of all, you always, when it clicks, you're like, holy shit, this is so easy. And where was this? Where was all this all my life? But I'm just thankful I found it now, not when I'm 85. So yeah. And just the smile on my face is constantly there. And I don't remember last time I was that elated, happy, and I don't have to be happy all the time. I'm okay being me. But I just feel good. My base level just skyrocketed, and just my base level is much higher than my previous base level, which was all the way at the bottom, and with a little bit of a peak to the happy side, and then back down you go. Now you're just on a better wavelength. So constantly. And that's all because you don't have those feelings that you don't, the bad feelings. And but like you said, the bad feelings are not there. So you don't think, so you don't do. And that's the whole chain reaction. And you actually pointing that out and giving the tools for it. I'm just surprised that with millions of self-help coaching and psychologists, etc. Everybody's missing this. The reason why this is that's the driving force behind all of this. And when you position your driving force correctly, just good shit starts happening in your life, and that you don't. That's why it's effortless, and you just flow, glide, whatever you want to call it, and yeah, and it feels good. So it feels a whole lot better than anything else. So
Have you noticed positive changes in your relationship?
absolutely, I became in my relationship. I became a lot more open. Where before I would have to play mental games. I'm really good at, for example, manipulating people. I'm all my life, good or bad, whatever. I don't really care. But meaning I don't. It doesn't matter to me now to be honest with anybody. And so when before I would.
Yeah, you just admitted something. Like, talk about vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like, there was no feeling that I'm a bad person for admitting I have an imperfection.
Exactly.
That I'm willing to work on and admit and let you know. Like, talk about a feeling shift. Anyway, go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Because you feel like you feel confident. When you feel confident, you don't have to bullshit anybody about anything. This is it, and you don't become meaner or this or that. You just be you, and there's no need to manipulate because you're okay with the outcome, whatever the outcome will be. You'll be okay. You're not gonna be. You're literally just gonna be. You know how to handle shit, and that. Sorry to use those words, but you literally know how to handle stuff. And so in the relationship, I became more open. I don't have to think about, oh, should I be saying this to her? Maybe I shouldn't be saying this to her, or not. I just become me, and she appreciates me for being me instead of just your relationship becomes honest, completely honest, instead of yes, you can force somebody to do what you want them to do, but at the end, you're gonna still lose the war, not the war, but whatever. It's not a winnable strategy. You're still gonna lose at the end because you're forcing something again, via manipulation or guilt tripping or being passive aggressive or being nice and then taking something away and training somebody like they're a dog or something. I don't know, right? There's billions of millions of these tricks and this and pickup stuff and being relatively okay looking and with money you can and know how to talk to women. You can get to places. Meaning you can get what you want, but you will never get the genuine thing that you're seeking, meaning in relationship. And now I'm just more open and I don't have anything to hide. I don't need to hide anything. That's the thing. I don't have a feeling like I need to hide anything anymore. And that's amazing. That's really amazing because everybody has something they're embarrassed about or whatever garbage they have in their head. It's just gone. I'm just floored. And that's why I can just be honest with.
Isn't that peaceful? That's why my, whole life stories all across the internet, because
that's the feeling, right? Exactly.
Yeah. And here, this sounds very condescending, and it's not the way I mean it. Because I'm catching myself before I say it, because kind of like you said, you're manipulative. For my grandfather, I can say things very condescending, but it's not in my heart. But I can't quite find the words. To me, this may come out really condescending. It's not my intent, but what I remember is where I was. And now that I'm here and I look out at the world and what I see is everybody hiding and they're in massive pain. It is all over them. You can see it. And now that all my skeletons are out, I don't care. I sit there and I go, man, they think they're saving themselves from pain,
right,
but they're just like gutting themselves. And it's exactly like, right. I'm free. Like, I'm just freedom. Free. And so, like, please, don't you see the answer is in the opposite of everything you've been taught? Go gut yourself. And you're like, you're so afraid to admit or have someone know that you have this imperfection. Yet when you learn the process to deal with your feelings, that feeling's gone. It's like, oh yeah, I struggle with that, or yeah, I'm an asshole, or yeah, there are times I do that. Like, you know, you
Right.
say manipulative, me saying condescending. Yeah, I do that, and it's okay. I don't have to be perfect. And when you point it out to me, please, because I love learning about it. I don't get that shame, that
Yeah,
massive shame that I'm bad, I'm worthless, and I can't see. I don't want you to see it. I don't want me to see it, and I definitely don't want to feel it. That's what it is. It's the release, and the shame is gone. It's
that's
just
right.
gone. And when that feeling isn't there, man, life just gets, you don't need accolades. It's not like you need anything to change, but just having that feeling gone, life's just like, oh,
I
this is
know.
wonderful. Sorry, that's my
No,
experience.
that's exactly.
Dater, and does that resonate with you, both of you?
Yeah, absolutely. The feeling of peace that you don't have to carry a bag of stones over your back, over your shoulders. It's just, oh my God, you finally let it go. Like, holy crap, what the hell was I hiding all my life? For what fucking reason was I even trying to hide all this stuff and protect my ego or whatever, not to be hurt, or it's just like, holy damn, it just the floodgates opened up. You let it all the crap out. You left the sack way back with all the stones and let it be there, and you just had fun. And with my girlfriend, sometimes even if I catch myself doing something that I don't like, I see that right away, because I get the feeling inside that this is something wrong I'm doing, and I tell her immediately, hey, listen, I just got this feeling. I was doing this because I was thinking that, blah, blah. You just have a discussion with her, with your spouse or whatever. And you mutually kind of, she sees that you're being genuine. She doesn't want to hurt you. She's there to be happy with you. So you find solution and you move on and I'm not talking about big things like,
No, it's just, yeah,
just
it's just, yeah.
little things that daily most people probably eat it at each other with some nonsense, and then they I'm gonna be right, or some kind of stupid reason for not being genuine. I don't have to defend anything. I don't have to explain anything. I don't have to carry anything. So you feel free. You feel lighter. That's why I was using the word glowing, or flowing.
Light. No, that's how I've always described it, is light. It's
light.
every client, you know, when we work through the process, they all use that exact, that is literally a universe. Dater's shaking his head, because Dater's been through the process too. And every single one says the exact same thing. I'm just so light. It's just gone.
Check this out. This actually brought back a memory that I had to share with you, Kenny. And it's, you know, there was a time in which I was working at a very lucrative job, just kind of the dream job that most people want to get in Hollywood, doing fun stuff. And I was usually very happy. Like, I really look forward to going into my job, even like what you're expressing right now, Stan. And then it actually shifted from one day to the next. And this week, it came to the point where my boss had to sit down to me and ask me, hey man, during the last few weeks, I don't know what's happened, but it's like you got this dark cloud all over you now. And I would always be straight on time, and now you're like coming over late. And, you know, now when I talk to you, you have this attitude, like there's what's happening. And I couldn't explain it in the time. I didn't have the language. And that relationship with that person ended up in a very crazy rupture where I ended up quitting, and he resented me. I could tell. This is 8 years ago, by the way.
Right.
And what this was making me realize right now is I did not have the language to explain myself, or to even take the actions to talk to myself, not just to talk to the other person, but to talk to myself like a conversation that we're having right now and understand what was going on with me.
Right.
I thought it was the external thing. I thought it was, well, I've been working my ass off and I'm not getting promoted and you're promoting the other people on top of me. So F this, you're a bad boss. Everybody, you're talking about bad about others and others are talking bad about you. So that's the way things roll around here. And that's why this place sucks and I'm out.
I had the same experience with the hedge fund. That was a dream job. Well, exactly the same scenario too. But now when I approach business now, it's different because first of all, you approach everything from a point of strength. You have strength within you. You have power, and it's not. I'm not talking about you. You're not become a dictator. Oh, you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. No, none of that. People want to do stuff with you because they see that you're just different. You're in a better headspace. You're just genuinely strong and powerful, and you're authentic. And they can see that authenticity because you can be honest. And that's because you feel the minute, like we were talking about the feeling when I discussed something with my girlfriend, because you show them vulnerability, they see it as powerful because everybody knows everybody's hiding shit and everybody's basically bullshitting you here and they're bullshitting you from this side. And when somebody comes in genuine, like a lot of comedians on TV you see or something, right? They say something which is absolute truth. They know this is the truth. And once they see the truth in a world where most people are hiding stuff, you stand out. And that's why I think partially better shit happens to you.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah.
But
well,
in terms of better shit happens to you, I know that if I had the emotional mastery I have now, thanks to what I've learned, the tools, the skills, all these things, and the language, I would have been able to not only repair that relationship, but even keep a better financial future for myself. Because I was making tons of money. It was residual income that I still get to this date that I do nothing for and I still get checks for.
Right.
And imagine if instead of cutting that relationship off, I had kept it going for another 4 years, which was supposed to keep going. Because this was the TV show and movie stuff. So we did 150 shows together and we were supposed to do another 450. So imagine that kind of money. And if I had the emotional mastery, I could have actually set myself up. This is what I'm talking about, how it trickles down to your financial life, your relationship life, your friendships in a way where I would have just been so much happier with the outcome.
Right. And you guys, the two of you, put together the secret to why this is so powerful. Language. All language is an attempt to explain to another person our internal feeling condition. That's it. Yet every process out there is telling you avoid your emotion. Well, what is authentic? These I wrote these down, Stan. Authentic, honest, vulnerable, truth. Those are feelings. When someone's authentic, that's not a language. That's a feeling that comes from them. When they're honest, we feel that in our soul. We don't take their words. Our soul says that was honest. You said the comedian. Right. They tell the story. Why do we laugh? Because we feel that truth. Truth is a feeling. It's not a word. It's an action. I can feel the honesty in that. And then when we're vulnerable, what is that? That's a feeling exchange of, man, I'm getting behind the curtain. Well, Dater, you said I didn't have the language. What that means is I didn't have the emotional mastery to communicate my authenticity, my honesty, my vulnerability, and my truth. That's what you couldn't communicate to him. So it became about this superficial, you're a bad boss, all anger, none of that, because I don't know how to express my need, my feeling of I have needs and wants here. I don't know how to communicate how I'm feeling, used and underappreciated and not seen and all the different feelings that are coming up. I don't have the emotional mastery language to then verbalize it, use thought to then verbalize to you so we can get in a discussion. And that's why every business relationship, every emotional relationship, they all fail. It's because of that lack of emotional language. which
Absolutely.
starts with no language. That's the separator. When you have that mastery of knowing that feeling, it's like earlier I joked with you, get your feeling sheet out. Because that's a prime example of you're having this overwhelming truthful feeling, but you can't put it into words yet. You're
Right.
still in the process of growing. Like it's there. Your truth, your honesty, vulnerability is right there, but you can't quite translate it into words. And that's why the emotion part is everything. And thought is a waste of time. That's why it came third. The cognition was the third piece to develop in our brain because it's meant to support. It's meant to be used as an interpreter of intuition and emotion. And so if you're not teaching, in my opinion at least, and obviously I'm completely biased, so, but to me, if you're not teaching how people can recover their intuition and emotion, you're not teaching them.
That's exactly right. So I've
It was just so profound. That's like listening to you too. I'm going, they're describing it, and they didn't have the emotional language,
right.
and without the emotional understanding to then use language to communicate it.
And
Go ahead, Dater.
I want to say something to that real quick, because sometimes we all do this. We go, we're in a heated argument, or we're in the moment, and we go, I need to cool off. I need to leave the space for a second, drive, whatever needs to happen, take a walk, come back, whatever time. Sometimes, whether it's in a relationship or in a workplace, we can leave and not even know how to put the language to it, especially before the tools and skills here. For weeks, days, months, the stress that puts on that relationship is not healthy because of that.
Yeah.
That's the reason why then things keep stacking and stacking, and then it gets explosive. Well, you last week,
yeah,
there you go again, right? That kind of attitude. And having the language enables us to untangle, to decode, to just finally put some water on the fire as soon as possible, so that, as even Kenny and I were talking with another university member, so that your life is not on fire all over the place. So, because that's what happens when things add up. It's like, oh my gosh, like there's a fire here, there's a fire there, there's a fire there, there's a fire there, and now everything's pissing me off. And it's like, can I just trade places with someone else? Because my life is just overwhelming and unbearable at this point. And that's where you feel like self-sabotaging. That's when you want to just dismantle, unplug the cable everywhere.
right.
Because it's easier. It feels more relaxing. So this actually is a way to take control and power and go, I'll be honest, I was even assimilating this to the movie The Matrix, where Neo stopped the bullets.
Right.
When people fire at him, it's kind of like that, where you don't have to dodge the bullets. You can just hold your hand up and go, hold on a second.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about when it just shit bounces off of you. That's exactly what I was, same exact feeling talking about. And to add to Kenny's thing about the thought, the only time, well, I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of mentally handicapped, but the only time I would use my thought in the argument now is when, to catch myself when I start falling back into some kind of bullshit patterns of communication. Meaning, if I get, I get a feeling, and I use my and in my cognition it's only there to say, hey, wait a minute, you're doing something, you're doing bullshit right now. Stop, reassess, and do what's right. You stop, and you stop that nonsense at it. You just cut it out completely in its infancy, and you do the right thing, and that's why people reciprocate to you and open things up with you, or because they saw, and you can actually discuss it with your partner. They saw that you were about to do this, and you stopped. You did 180, and you do the right thing, and it all comes from within. And thinking is only there to just catch yourself in that glimpse of the moment, to just say, hey, calm down and retract and move, one step back, and then 100 steps forward.
Like you just said, it's there to interpret. You felt the feeling, thought comes in and creates the interpretation of the feeling. Uh-oh, I'm about to sabotage myself. I'm about to use the old manipulative ways with my girlfriend, with my boss, whoever. I know where this leads. And as I contemplate continuing down that road, that feeling's getting bigger. Oh God, now I don't suppress it with booze. I don't run from it, everything. Now I can see all those years I negated it and stuffed it, repressed it, minimized, condoned it, all of that. Now I'm aware of it. I don't want this feeling. Now you're doing all of that thought processing,
Right.
assessing it and going, no, I'm done. This feeling, I won't live my life in this way because
These
now
moments.
I'm actually present to it. So now I'm going to use cognition to shift it. And now the new feeling comes up and now you have a new interpretation. Oh man, I'm saying it right. I'm doing it right. The feeling
Right.
gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's loop just goes and it gets faster and faster, easier and easier. And that's what you're describing is that in 2 weeks, it just catapults. It doesn't, like I say it all the time. This process happens fast,
Right.
really fast. You just have to make the choice. Just get that feeling, like you do have to use a bit of old school. Will yourself, use thought and grind away at it. And once that first day when you start tracking your feelings, it just opens up. It's like
You just needed to give it a little push, and then it snowballs and does itself. So I completely agree with that. So.
This type of self-awareness, the way you've both just spoken about it, is what enables us to be the man.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And in many ways, when women, I've seen it, when they get frustrated, sometimes they'll express that. Why can't you just be the man, or things like that? And
We didn't know what it is.
what we're talking about.
yeah.
That's exactly right. You have the balls to be yourself, as they say, right? But instead of having the balls being overly dominating, pretend to be macho. Like a lot of men, they act tough, but they're not tough. They're weak inside. They project this screen of toughness in order to hide the real selves behind it. And women can smell that. They can smell it. And maybe they don't smell it right away, but they'll certainly smell it when during the argument or when some time passes. So, and reverse is true as well. They smell when you're genuine, when you're being the man, and when you're being just a true self. Because there's no more argument. Because this is the truth. There's no bullshit about it. So if there's no bullshit about it, then there's nothing to have problems with.
Yeah.
And
To defend.
to defend, exactly. And so it just makes for a much easier communication, everything. It's again, you feel lighter, effortless. It's the same. It's the same feeling, just over and over, feeling great. And when you
I like your line, I'm going to say it. It's effortlessly easy
right,
to not be in pain.
exactly.
When you,
But you
when
know
you
what?
get, go ahead.
I was going to say, what that also does, as far as I've noticed, is because you're explaining it, it allows us to relax, first of all, which allows her to relax.
Right.
And that also contributes to the intimacy. Like, we love intimacy with women, but with our woman, right? But I've noticed that our state, they're dependent on it. And I feel like that part of being the man, what you just explained, deals exactly with that. I'm cool, nothing to hide, nothing to defend. It's all good, no matter you want to scream, cry, laugh, whatever's going on, whatever's happening here, we're going to handle it.
Right, you're gonna stop the bullets, exactly. And it doesn't even have to be the bullets. It just and you can see. And I'll tell you another funny story. Yesterday, my girlfriend, she's like, maybe she's because I was very open about it. what I'm going through right now. And she told me yesterday, maybe I should talk to a coach, et cetera, because she started realizing she also has issues. Everybody has issues. So she wants to grow with me, and she doesn't want to be left behind, so to speak.
That's leadership. That's a man.
That's exactly right.
Right there. That's
holy
you.
shit.
You model it.
Exactly. For the first time in my life, not first time in my life, but I don't remember last time where I literally, this is what I wrote in the journal yesterday. Exactly that. I just said, holy crap. You lead by example, straight up. And we all see a lot of people, we all hear we have to lead by example, but until you feel it, it doesn't really happen. We all have to go to the gym, we all lead by example.
But nobody shows you the process.
Right. Exactly.
That's what I always keep coming back to that. That was my, when I was suicidal and wrote down what I wanted to accomplish in my life, and that was one of the main things I saw. Nobody's taught the process. They use these phrases, lead by example. Well, what's the process?
Right.
Change your state. What's the process? Believe in yourself. What's the process? All of these, I get frustrated, all of these terms, but nobody laid out a plan. This is how you do it. And that's basically what I discovered. This is the process. And when you use this process, you lead by example. You have belief. All of those things are a natural. They are the only outcome. You can't stop it. It happens. You don't have to will it or make it or think about it. You become it.
Exactly. And whatever aspect of life you point to or touch, because the process, it's not only to become a man or become a woman or become a triathlon, whatever athlete the word, it applies to everything you touch. So that's why immediately from all areas of my life, better things are starting to happen in my relationship, in my business, in my physical health-wise state. It just everything, because the process is the same. It doesn't matter. It just whatever you want to guide it at, whatever you point it at, that's what you and
when you have emotional mastery, every area of your life skyrockets. Because
exactly.
it determines everything in our life, not our thoughts. Emotional mastery determines our thoughts, which then create the actions. You have to start with your emotions. It's how our brain and body is designed, and it's beyond the life of me why anyone is teaching anything else when that's what the science shows. It boggles my mind that they would ever teach thought when we, all the neuroscientists, they show it. Candace Pert, Antonio Damasio, Bruce Lipton. I mean, even Joe Dispenza in his books, he's describing it, yet he's teaching a thought process. I'm like, his first book's amazing. It lays out the whole feeling process, and then he starts teaching thought. And I'm like, did you not read your own book? No, I don't mean to disparage him because he's he's a great guy and does great work. Please, but I'm just like,
come on,
it's fascinating to me.
And that's the feeling. I think I wish for more and more people discover this, because that's the feeling they're gonna receive. It's so simple when it clicks. You'll be shocked that how come I was doing it the other way all this time, because it just so easy. It's just lie times away. It's so much more easier to just be just do it for when you feel right, and it just opens up. You flow, and and you're just genuinely surprised that you haven't discovered this sooner, because it's not that difficult. It's quite simple, but yet it's eluding 99% of world population. So,
we're trying to change that.
Right, I know. So this is where we at.
I'm so thankful that your life is better.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that you have found you, because that's what matters, is you feel like you're you. And that's my hope for everybody. And so it's wonderful to see that happening.
That's
Yeah, I love
I,
it.
all I can be is thankful and grateful, and that's why. And I'm just happy, and so I'm very um, I just so many positive emotions are going through my head right now. I don't even know what to say because it just feels great. That's all I can say. It feels great. That's it. So
I love it. That's the point. That's how life is supposed to be meant to live. And even when the tough stuff comes up, it's okay. It's, as Dater said, the Matrix. It's just a whew, wax on, wax off. It's part of life. It's another color. I can handle it. I'm the man. And this is for women too. I'm the woman. I can absorb this. I don't have to lose myself. I'm okay. And I'm at peace. Whether it's it's the Buddha and all that talks about, oh, good and bad aren't, they're the same thing. Well, but how do you live that? Well, that's what you get with emotional mastery. That's what you get. Is
you gain the understanding within you of that, what it feels like. Whatever, all these texts that describe the same thing, but I've tried millions of ways of finding it until now. I couldn't. I had a realization. I realized it cognitively, but I didn't feel it. And what it feels like to be at peace, or
Yep.
feel free, or feel light, or feel like waking up every morning and just feeling great. It just, you feel all these things, and when you feel them, then you can realize them and spread and say these things. But when most people, they hear those things, they don't, because they haven't had the feeling of it over and over and over and over again, it simply doesn't register. They can force it, they can work for a little, and it can work for a little while, but it's still forcing it. And like they're saying, you have to do some kind of habit over.
They're just missing the
21
process.
days,
Yeah.
you will have to, right? But I don't even have to force myself to wait 21 days because I don't have any need or feeling to do something I used to require force to do in doing or something, right? So I can wake up and be happy, or I can go to the gym and just because I want to go to the gym. I don't need to force myself, wait 21 days, and then somehow magically I will enjoy doing the process. No, you're still gonna feel like shit. So it's just such a primitive, stupid way of going about your life. And I'm very thankful for you to connecting the pieces of puzzle to make sense of it all.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, and you're a force for good. So